down from a cracker.
Good evening and welcome to Success in the City. My name's Helen Webster. I'm with the lovely
Andrew Scott. And we don't have a fabulous guest today because it's just us two, because it's Christmas. And we thought we'd have a drink today. We can't be trusted with a guest.
Right, we're going to say cheers. And I think I've got to go that way. No, you've got to go opposite.
Go on then.
Cheers. Dink. There you go.
Ooh,
good health to everybody. That's
Good
very
health.
nice. Huh? Yeah. Okay, so today or tonight we're going to do a review of 2022, which rhymes, which I was a little bit made up about when I typed that.
Okay, a review 2022, yeah.
Yeah, okay, but first we're going to do shout out to the kids, any little people who've done amazing things.
Loads. And I think you shared something actually on the page. Is it the one do you want to talk about him, the young lad?
Yeah. No, I shared a few like young people who've done amazing things for others, and raised some money and did food parcels and all sorts of wonderful things. And I just want to say a big shout out to all the kids who made it to the nice list.
Very much so.
But they've all done amazing things all year, and they made it to the nice list. And then there's some who've made it to this super nice list, like the young people that we've mentioned. And it's been a tough year, hasn't it, for a few young people, but they've just they're just so resilient, and they just really ride it out. So massive big shout out to all kids for me.
Yeah, and I had a lovely time yesterday because I went to my cousin's house, and I call them my nephews and my cousin's kids, but because I don't, we're quite tight and everything, so we're aunties and uncles. Anyway, and it was lovely to spend time with them because one of them goes to boarding school, so he was home, so that was nice. And the other one, the little one, they've got a lot of presents and they don't want for anything, but me and him played this little game, and he was just made up. It was a dead simple game, and he was so happy. And they just get pleasure out of simple things, actually, when you look at it. And just spending time with kids is the most important thing. So a massive shout out to him.
Yeah. I've had a lovely day today with Hannah and James. So I took them to town and we went to Build-A-Bear shop. That was part of their Christmas present. And so we made teddy bears today, which was ace.
Build-A-Bear. Brilliant.
Build-A-Bear, yeah. Whoever thought of that is a genius, just saying.
The queues outside the shop, though.
Crazy. Queues outside, chocker. Every kid's walking around with the Build-A-Bear on the back. Amazing. Jan Railton's listening and she says, Happy Christmas, ladies. So happy Christmas, Jan.
Merry Christmas.
You had a great time. Okay, success this week, San, for you?
I've had a few. Oh, well, my roasties were the best ever because I've never been good at roasties really compared to other people. They always come out like French potatoes or something. Oil's not hot enough, all the rest of it. Anyway, my roasties were fine. And I was particularly delighted because I've got a client who's a native German speaker and I teach English to her, and she was going to be on her own because her husband had to work on Christmas Day. So I said, come to my house for Christmas dinner. And it was made up for her because it was a cultural experience, because the people they socialise with are mostly German and that. So it was nice for her to come to a small English home and see sort of what we do, etc. I'm going to move that because the light's shining on the picture.
And it looks like you've got a halo.
Halo, I have. Halo. Oh, how dare you. There we go. How's that? No, it's still.
That's a little bit better. That's cool.
There we go. We've got the wine in the background.
Perfect. I've got my wine here. Look.
Joe Swinburne said, Merry Christmas to two of my favourite ladies. I'm made up she's listening in because you feel like your friends are with you.
I know. Merry Christmas. And you've all got to join in. You've all got to join in tonight.
Yeah, definitely in comments. Yeah, so my roasties were a success. The dinner went well and that was all really cool. We near had an incident when Rona went to put the telly on and The Great Escape was on, and my mum was like, no, get it off. So at the most inopportune moment. So fortunately we switched over quickly. But apart from that, everything was absolutely fine and they had a good time and everything.
Brilliant.
So that was good. What about you? What was your success?
So I think my biggest success was that I'd been Christmas shopping, I'd bought everything and had it all wrapped up by the 23rd of December, because I normally go shopping on Christmas Eve, buy everything and wrap it all up, and then end up having like a dead late Christmas Eve. So Christmas Eve was lovely, and I went over to see Auntie Beryl and Uncle Ron and had my lunch with them, which was just lovely, because that was a nice little chill thing to do. And I visited Rach and saw the kids on Christmas Eve. And then I went to my brother's and dropped Thomas's Christmas Eve box off. Even though he's 16, he still has that. So I had like a nice little visity day, which was just like nice and chilled and stuff like that. And then, you know, food and drink and seeing everybody and just having a nice little chill, isn't it? You know.
Yeah. Good.
So, yeah.
I had a nice house. It was lovely yesterday seeing family and stuff that I hadn't seen. And my cousin's husband's over from Abu Dhabi for a couple of weeks, so that's nice, you know, because he just comes over at school holidays and that. So it was good. It was just lovely.
Brilliant. Right. I went over to see Uncle Ron and I had my dinner with him. And as I was walking out, he said, "Who's your guest this week?" And I said, "We haven't got one." I said, "It's just me and San." I said, "We do our like little review of the year and what we're going to talk about for next year and everything like that." And then I thought, "Oh, he can do all this and that." So I said, "Go and have a little think." I said, "And text me over this or that." So he said, "All right then." I said, "You've got a bit of time. You're all right. You've got till Tuesday." Anyway, about 2 hours later, he sent it over. So Uncle Ron has set this or that. So if anybody wants to join in, you can join in now. All right. Okay. So his first one, Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve?
Oh. Okay. So Christmas Eve is work. Usually it's full on effort usually and that doing stuff, peanut butter, things like that. But this year it was okay. I like New Year's Eve. I enjoy New Year's Eve, and it you know, it's a good night out. Really, I do like New Year's Eve, but often I'm panicking about how I'm going to get home, wherever I am. That's the only thing. New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve. So Joe Swinney says Christmas Eve.
Yeah,
I think I'm going to go Christmas Eve as well. So I love. Like we have like a little snackies, we have new pajamas because it's Christmas Eve, and then we watch Christmas movies, and it's just like get you like dead children stuff. And this year was ace. And I used to love New Year's Eve when I was younger, like going out and not coming home. And my mum's listening. She's saying hi to Jan, and Jan's saying hello to her. You're supposed to be answering the questions, not saying hello to each other. So I'm going to say Christmas Eve for me this time. Yeah, Christmas Eve.
Okay.
And when I said to me, Uncle Ron, what are your answers? He just sent me back, it's a secret.
I think I like New Year's Eve because I spend it with people who I might have seen over Christmas as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Katie Elliott's listening in and she says Christmas Eve.
Lovely.
So I think Christmas Eve's winning so far. Okay, this is a dead tricky one. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
John Lewis or Marks and Spencer's?
John Lewis, hands down.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ooh.
John Lewis, hands down, because the range John Lewis has is completely different and much greater than M&S. It's not just clothes and food and a bit of household stuff. There's loads more there. Mm-hmm. So in terms of if I had to do a trolley dash, it'd be in John Lewis, definitely.
100% I'm with you on that trolley dash. And also, I saw Joe Swinney's gorgeous choir singing in John Lewis as well. Mm. So that was my
thing on the escalator, and I was like that, looking at it going, that was definitely.
That's right. I thought we went to watch them, and then Phil says, "Get up on the escalator." He says, "And do it like coming down." I said, "Oh, that's a great idea." Yeah. So run up like that, goes, and I did me, and then I had to do it that way. So everybody had to turn their heads. So apologies, my camera work wasn't very good. And yet, Joe Swinney says John Lewis. Now we sang there.
Oh.
Oh, my mum says Marks and Spencer's.
No, I love M&S as well, but in terms of the whole range and everything they've got, John Lewis.
My mum's got M&S on speed dial on her on her iPad.
Merry Christmas, success in the city, ladies. Merry Christmas, Peter. Hope you've had a nice break.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Okay, last one.
Mm-hmm.
White Christmas or Christmas in the sun?
Oh no, White Christmas, hands down. Christmas has to be snowy and lovely and cold. I wouldn't like sunshiny Christmas. When in Australia they have a barbecue on the beach, don't you?
Yeah. So Joe Swinney says she loves it when M&S's food is reduced.
Well, yes,
yeah. Joe Swinney says a white Christmas. Yeah, I love a white Christmas, but I'd love to experience a Barbie on the beach on Christmas Day in his shorts and flip-flops. I think it'd be ace. And our friends from Wales, Sarah and Flynn, who got married.
Yeah.
Sarah's brother and sister live in New Zealand, so they've gone to New Zealand. So they sent us a photograph and they were having a Barbie.
Oh no!
My mum says a white Christmas. Oh, Danny de Brabant is listening. Merry Christmas, ladies.
Do you know it's the only time I haven't had my sweatshirt on off him as well.
Do you know what? I've had my sweatshirt on today, and then I went and threw my lounge suit on.
Oh, That's the only time I've had my sweatshirt on all day, and I just changed my jumper on for the show.
So they're good. Well done, Uncle Ron. Thanks for that.
Did you only give us 3, Hal?
3 give us, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because we normally do 3, don't we?
Each.
Oh, we normally do 3 each, don't we? Yeah. Oh, he just give me. I didn't even think of that. I just said send me 3.
Anyway, he didn't tell us whether he preferred M&S or John Lewis.
No, he told me it was a secret. When I said, what would your answers be? He said it's a secret.
Oh, Merry Christmas, Dave.
Yeah.
As well.
Lounge suits. They're not pajamas, Dave, because they're like velour, and my mum bought me them for my birthday, and they're just the coziest things ever. So it's a little bit more dressy up than pajamas, but I still wouldn't go the shop in them. Just saying. Okay, so we normally hand it over to our amazing guest. We haven't got an amazing guest. We just got each other today.
Yeah. Well, we're amazing, if you don't mind me saying.
Well, I was going to say that. Uncle Ron says Primark. They're not from Primark.
Uncle Ron, you haven't even been to Primark, so don't.
He has. He's a good shopper in Primark.
Isn't? No way, really?
Yeah, he's bought a few little gadgets in there. Yeah, a few little items of clothing. He's dead trendy. He goes everywhere.
Anyway, before we move on to the guest, it was your birthday last show, and did you have a good birthday?
We had an amazing birthday. So I had breakfast with my mum.
Yeah.
Then I had the most gorgeous lunch with you in the watering can, which was amazing, which I've never been. So if anybody's around, they need to go there. And I'm going to take everybody there now because it's just gorgeous.
It's so nice, isn't it? It's gorgeous in the summer as well because you can have your food and go for a walk around the lake. And that garden's quite different then, you know. So
yeah. So it was lovely. So it was really, really nice. And then me and Phil were going to go out for our tea.
Yeah.
But Sports Personality of the Year was on and I haven't missed one. So we watched that and we had an Indian. And then we watched Miss Harris Went to Paris, which is the best film ever.
Is that on Netflix? I wanted to take my mum to see that.
No, it's on
one of the things.
No, we had to buy it off Amazon. We bought it off Amazon Prime. But it's amazing. And then I was telling my Uncle Ron that I'd seen this film. And he said, I've read a book about that. Told me all about this author who was an American author who does like crime but wrote these 4 books. Anyway, when we had to Google, it's him.
Go away.
Yeah, he's just like a fountain of knowledge. He knows everything. So
Uncle Ron is very knowledgeable indeed.
He is. So that was amazing. So yeah, it was a lovely, lovely day.
Can I just say, when I put the telly on and I said to him, sports, I said, Helen won't go out for dinner. Just go and watch that. I laughed my head off, and then I sent you a message and you went, yeah.
I know. It's that bad, that, isn't it?
It is. No, if you like it and it makes you happy and it's what you want to do, fine.
I love it. And I called them all. I play like a little game with myself and I call who's going to win and everything like that.
You're right.
Yeah, that was right. Yeah. Beth Mead had to win 100%. So it was great. So we had a great time. So my mum's put, they were from Costco. They are DK. They're not DNKY, they're DKNY mum. Pinky Jarmas. And he's like his little sister. Oh, my mum says, fountain of knowledge.
It means being clever. Well, to be fair, your mum is. That's quite true.
Yeah, she's put laughing faces after. So anyway, we started the year with our amazing Brian Quinn.
Oh, our favorite. Absolutely.
He's been like a co-host and stuff like that with us and helped us out, which is why we had him. And he kick-started our 2022 off. And we finished 2022 with Matty Kane last week, who was amazing.
Oh, it was brilliant as well. Yeah.
And in between, we've had MBEs.
Yeah, we have.
We've had a gold medal winner.
Yeah.
We've had award-winning chefs.
Yeah.
We've had published authors.
Yeah, a few.
We've now got somebody doing a world challenge who's actually rowing at this minute.
Mm-hmm.
And he's off rowing and he's still in the Atlantic now, isn't he?
Yeah.
So we're following him. We've had double guests. Somebody's been on twice, which was Danny de Brabander, who's listening in. So he's only the second person we've ever had on twice.
Yeah.
We had our very first event.
Yeah, we did have, and we've got another one. Yeah, that was good.
Katie Roll came on.
Oh, that was mental.
And we had 8,500 views of the show, if not more. That's just on like one platform. But a post that we did about her when she was coming on the show went to 28,000 people.
Which is mental. Yeah.
We had 3 guests on at once.
Yeah, that was a first for us. Yeah, definitely.
On the 26th of July, Uncle Ron made a guest appearance in real life.
Yeah, when we did our event, yeah.
Our very first live location was International Women's Day, which was the 8th of March, which we did in Penrose Fletchers.
Yeah, of course we did, yeah.
And then we've done, I think we've done 4 or 5 location ones since.
Mm. Oh, yeah, we did. We did one in the USB games testing place.
Yeah. We did one on Darren's bus.
Yeah, we did one on the bus. Yeah, that was the first. We did Blackie for our event.
Blackie for our event. And then we did our office, didn't we, with John Moores.
The John Moores people. Yeah.
And Rossi from Radio City came on.
He was the best. I love him to bits. I really
How
do.
good was that?
I know, I've still got his jam for him.
Yeah. So we've had like a really jam-packed year, haven't we?
We've had loads of cool people on as well. I'm quite excited because we've got everyone booked up. Who was your favourite guest in the year?
Oh, I don't know, because I've actually gone through and had a look and I thought, oh yeah, that was a good show. That was a really good show.
Some people, when they're on, you just think, oh, could listen to you for another hour. You know, some people are just so in, and what they've done, and just ordinary people, you know, and we've had so many great people on.
Definitely.
Time, you know, even like, and more recently, like when we had Bernie Hollywood and things that have happened to them in their life and what they do and how they turn that into a positive. And we had the lovely lady who set up the paper coffee cut place in town, and just loads of people who've done such brilliant things. Paul Winfield was an interesting one for me. He was pushed for time with Liverpool John Lennon Airport because all the new routes they've got coming, and I always think of the financial impact that has on the city. And because they're doing a German route, they've increased that now to an extra 3 a week. And he was nervous saying, oh, we need people to get this. And, you know, the amount of routes are improving dramatically, really. That was good as well. And just so many. And, you know, we had Michelle O'Dwyer on.
Yeah.
So that, lo and behold, she's on the BBC next. So
I know. I woke up on Christmas morning, come downstairs, we put the telly on, and there she is. And I'm thinking, I said to Phil, that's Michelle who was on our show last week. And I thought she was on BBC Breakfast, which is in Manchester, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's 7 o'clock in the morning, so she must have got up, gone there, and then was going back to cook Christmas dinner.
Yeah, exactly. And she did put the post, the amount of people involved with that, and Claire Ellis, who then we had on with the other Claire, and Maggie, who's coming on in January. She helped, and she said, you know, all these other people get involved. And not this year, but the other year, we had Sheila on from Hope Street, which is a charity, and they did a big community Christmas dinner. Our friend Dom, I'm going to share some of the photos from that. He sent me, just amazing. But it's about loads of people joining in, and, you know, it just like that one that Michelle did in Vauxhall, that was massive. That was a big community dinner, and they had entertainers and everything. So all those people have done that on Christmas Day, haven't they? And they love it and everything.
So it was from about 10 till 4 as well. It wasn't like go and have your dinner and go home. It was a whole sort of like event for them.
I always think that, because if someone turns up for a meal maybe at 1 or 1:30, and then they go at 3 or something, that's sort of it, isn't it? And it's nice, but I think if they have a long time, you feel like you've had a proper day out and everything, you know.
Definitely.
But Uncle Ron's very biased. He's put "You knock spots off BBC TV."
I'm going to agree with him on that one.
Their broadcast might run a bit more smoothly than ours, Uncle Ron. I think we were on with about a minute to go tonight. And John Howie said, yeah, that's right. The event was at the Black, and we've got one in January. We have on Thursday the 19th, which I'm excited about. We're just getting that all boxed off. Invitations going out next week. So that's
Definitely, yeah. I just made a little list of like people who we'd had on and you know what they'd done and where they've gone on from and things like that.
Yeah.
And you know, Danny de Brabander was like one of our very first guests, and I don't know whether many people. I still think he's one of my favourite guests because nobody really knew about him or what he did and stuff like that. And he's turned a massive negative into a huge positive for other people. And then, you know, he came back on, didn't he, when his hoodies went live, and then, you know, he was dead kind and he sent us hoodies and things. And I went on a course, and on my first day of the course, I wore the hoodie.
Yeah.
And one of the lads who was on the course come over and said, "Oh, I like your jump." And I said, "Oh, yeah." I said, and I explained, he went, No, he said, I'm a really good friend of Danny's.
Yeah.
And the next day he had the t-shirt on. And he was like, you know, we were just saying how cool it was. And I love the way that, you know, they've got over £100,000 that they've raised, and they're now gifting it to other people. And I think he was involved in Michelle's.
Yeah, he was. He was tagged in it in the post. So just all these people doing really cool, great stuff together who were involved with people. And, you know, it's like you said about people with MBEs, we had a couple on, and one of them was Paul Cali Glover, and he'd referred to the paper cup coffee place, etc.
Yes.
You know, we're all involved helping each other, which is just great stuff as well.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. We've had people who've just started on their journey, haven't we? We've had like a few young people who've started businesses or started working for some cool places, and then we've had people who've done things, you know, for a long time. And I think people who come on and you don't expect what they've done, or so I think my biggest one was Matty last week. You know, he's done so much, and you know, when you follow them on social media, they did loads over Christmas, and they were open on Boxing Day, and the hub was open and stuff like that. And that's people who truly believe in what they're doing, isn't it? They're not just doing it for.
No, I think the whole purpose of us starting this was to show how local people can just do great stuff. Just Joe Blogs next door. They don't, you know, we have got people with MBEs. It didn't start out like that though. You know, they just had an idea and were doing their own thing, basically, you know. And we've got some really good people coming up as well, haven't we? All with January's books. We've got
January's fully booked, isn't it?
Yeah, Jen, and we've got Jen McGowan, John Bullock, Margaret Bell, Gary Adlin, and Steve Shotton in that order. So I'm excited about that. And John Bullock's got a great story, you know, a lot of people don't realise, because he's quite humble and he'll only speak about one aspect of something. But when you find out what he's done in his life, he's really inspiring. And
well, he's already been a guest, hasn't he? But we're having him back, aren't we? Because he's finally published his book, hasn't he?
Yeah, and you know how I normally like to have a read of the book before they come and I get it. He's on the 10th and I haven't ordered the book or anything. So I'll try and have a quick look to see if I can get hold of that before then.
Definitely. I've got a little fly buzzing around. Yeah, I think a great guest who I was quite sort of, you know, when you said that you were going to try and get this guest on, and I was like, oh, there's no way we're going to get him on. And that was Tony Schumacher, the author.
Yeah, but I know his wife as well. We work together. Anna is just 8, but she's so. She said, "I'm seeing this." Oh, she goes, I said, "What is it? Oh, he just writes." She goes, he just writes all day, and he sent a book off and blah. I was like, "Oh, right, okay." I was like, "He is good, I think," you know. And it's just dead funny while you talk and everything. And you know, they were living in a flat off Princess Park around there and that, you know, and he's just done brilliantly. As he's such a talented person, you know. He was quite controversial for some as well, but he spoke from his own personal experience.
I think he shared his story, didn't he? Of and he was really, really open. So he shared his story of, like, you know, how he wasn't that great in school, but he still liked writing, and then he went on and you know, the story of how the book, the play and everything is show and everything all came. And it was, when you have these like incidents and people say it's fate or whatever it is, you know, and you've got to be in the right place at the right time. And it was just how everything kept on going. But, you know, he'd done so much and had so much rejection to then finally go through and get what he needed and stuff like that. So that was like a massively inspiration, I think.
And he was quite humble as well, wasn't he? And he said he was there at the right time. And of course, you know, Scouse Mafia, whatever you want to call it, that he was in London and there was someone there from Liverpool who went, hiya, who said, oh, and he said, I'll help you. And it's that, isn't it? It's support people. It's giving people a leg up. We rise by lifting others, as I always say. It's helping other people, isn't it? You know, and he says that's what gave him his break, because you can have all the talent in the world. If you don't get the break, if you don't get the support, it's really hard, you know, as we both know. But, you know, you're knocking on door, etc., to get on.
Yeah, definitely.
It's very difficult. Nothing comes easy. And they always say that they show that you see the pictures like the ballerinas, and they say they don't show you the bleeding toes or whatever it was. Anyway.
Yeah, definitely. No, amazing. So we've worked quite a bit, haven't we, with Liverpool John Moores, and we were really lucky to be part of their project, the LCR4 Start, with John Howie and Craig Donaldson, which was really, really good. That, you know, we were talking about all things digital, weren't we? You know, and how we can use, how the university has so many amazing opportunities to get people involved.
Very much so. And they've been good to us, really. And it's because of them that we've sort of made the decision to set up as a CIC. As everyone knows, we just did this as a mad thing to do, originally on a Wednesday for an hour a week, just because people were so isolated in the lockdown, and to keep everyone together and to keep everyone's spirits up. And this is actually our third Christmas now. Doing this, our third Christmas show. And
without the hats
this year, and without a drink beforehand, only drawing. So this is our third show, and it sort of got legs. And, you know, through John Moores, they said, oh, you want to make it, and I was like, well, I don't understand what you mean. Why would we do that? How does it work? Blah blah blah. We've got our businesses, etc. But he did explain it, and, you know, I think it's got legs, and it's a platform to help people, really, and to give other people a voice to talk about what they want to do. And, you know, people doing charity work, people with good business ideas, or people who want to maybe just get together with other people in the community to set something up. But the idea is to do something good and positive locally, whether it's business, voluntary, whatever, you know. And I think so we have got a lot of people who do ask us to come on the show, and they're not always suitable. We don't just want people to promote their products. It's not that type of show, really. It's about good stuff that's helping people as well. So, but if there are people who are interested, or, you know, you can suggest them to us, etc., and we can consider them and that. And you went to Liverpool Soup, didn't you? And spoke up on that and met some interesting people who were all speaking about good causes. And the ones who won it were brilliant. I'd like to get them on, who in Toxteth, who do this Help to Grow, isn't it?
Grow, yeah. So we said we'd get them on. We said we'd wait till after Christmas and let them settle down, you know, after them winning. And what they do is amazing. And, you know, that was a night where there was so many people who were doing amazing things, but not just the people who stood up and did the pictures, also the people who were just in the room, because I spoke to a few people and they, you know, were from amazing things. And that also sort of gave us the idea, didn't it, of, I think Success in the City was started, as you said, you know, to because everyone was being a bit of a miser when there was amazing people inspiring and doing, you know, lots of other things. And it's about so much more than that. And it's about the impact that what people do, they don't realize the impact. And in sort of terms, it's called social impact. And social impact is very, very difficult to put a monetary pound on it.
Yeah.
And so, for instance, the people who, you know, went to the Christmas dinner, it might cost, say, I don't know, £5-10 to put the Christmas dinner on for that person. But then you've got the people who have taken time to maybe pick them up and drop them off and all that sort of stuff. But for that person, for them not being on their own might be the difference between them maybe, you know, having an antidepressant or maybe not having an antidepressant, which is the knock-on effect to the NHS, which is the knock-on effect to the emergency services, to family and friends and things like that. So when you have a spider's web of knock-on effects, it's worth so much money, and I think that's what we're trying to promote, is this you know, sort of like social impact of what people who come on to do.
And it's our Joe said fab night about that evening, and Diane Cannon has said, love you both to bits, hope you let me back on next year. Of course we will. And there's a perfect example. So Diane's at Melanoma UK, you know, she's an absolute spokesperson for them. She's so dynamic, she goes everywhere. And sadly, that was born from the loss of her niece. And Liverpool, as she will tell you, is the skin cancer capital of the UK. And that can only be from sunbeds, because let's face it, it's not that sunny here. Yeah. So it is compared to Manchester, obviously, but nationally it's not sunny. So that is because of that. It's because of sunbeds and things like that. And she's really passionate about that and spreading the word about skin cancer, etc. And that there's a perfect example of something that's come from something terribly, you know, awful that's happened, and how she's now saving people's lives, you know.
Yeah.
So fantastic. Well done to her. So we'd love to have you back on. She'd probably like to come on in May when it's the melanoma month, I suppose.
Definitely we'll get her back on then and promote it. We might do a live with her somewhere.
We gave Marty Sang a shout out as well. He's been on the show before, and he went and helped all these people, didn't he? It was like 3 days doing, you know, volunteer. And there's an example of social impact. And I think we did speak last week. Sorry if I'm repeating myself, but this made a real impression on me, because he sent us a little clip, and a lady's ceiling was coming in with water coming through. A lot of us have been in that situation at some point in our lives, but when it's a homeowner, they're elderly, they're not insured for that because it's due maybe to wear and tear over time with the pipes. They can't afford to fix it, and they're living in a house with water coming in, and there's nothing they can do about it, and they don't know anyone who can help them.
Yeah,
that's, you know, it's hard, isn't it? And you don't think, and even if you're trying to budget and stuff like that, you don't realize how difficult it is for some people, you know. And people are just amazing. And there you go, we had Di Cannon and Martin Sang both came on the sign language.
They did.
They want to be able to communicate or include deaf people more. And it's just that attitude of people giving them kindness. And I suppose, you know, we talk about a sense of community. A sense of community we always think of as where you live locally, but you mightn't actually know your neighbour's name anymore where you live, and that happens a lot. So I suppose what we're trying to do is maybe widen the network across the city. And we've always said the outlying areas as well, haven't we? Liverpool City.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
So that people are connected, people can offer skills when guests come on, they can share help. And I don't often share things like lost cats and stuff like that. We have done the odd one of those, haven't we? Or appeals for specific things. And, you know, there's loads of groups that do that. We can certainly signpost people, like Liverpool Helping Local People. Wirral have got a great group there that help each other, you know. So we're just dead lucky, really. And I think if you come from big family or you've got a massive friend network, you don't always know what it's like if you move to an area or from somewhere else, or your circumstances change, how important that sense of belonging is and how it can help you, you know. So Diane's just coming out with all kinds of lovely things here, isn't she, Hel?
She's well been on the gin.
Yeah, are you a phenomenal job, and you're both helping people so much. Well, I hope so. I didn't at first, I just thought it was a laugh and keeping people in touch. But I think what's happened now over the 2.5 years, well, the 2 years and a bit, is we've got quite a network of really cool people locally doing brilliant stuff. So it's great, really, you know.
It's on the fizz.
Ellen and I are both on the red wine.
Salud.
I poured some Pimm's. I thought I'll have Christmas Pimm's, but I didn't have the right mixer, so I put tonic in it, and it's disgusting. So, and I thought, well, I'm not opening a bottle of red wine because I haven't drank so much over Christmas because I had to drive my mum home. And Helen had the red wine, and I thought, that's it. Joe's put, I will be watching. Brilliant.
Yeah, amazing, boss. Yeah, so I'd like to talk a little bit about the CIC and what, because some people might not know what a CIC is and how it all works and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't.
So a CIC stands for Community Interest Company.
Right.
And basically what it is it's a not-for-profit company. But for me personally, and I know a lot of people, no business or company should ever be not-for-profit. You should always be making profit. It's what you do with that profit that makes the difference.
Yeah.
So a CIC is a community interest company, which means that the community, it's an interest for the community, But we need to make a massive profit, because if we've got a massive profit, we can help and do so much more stuff.
Yeah.
So what we do with the profit, that counts.
Absolutely.
And what we've talked, or what we've spoken about, is Success in the City was a Liverpool thing, and that Sandra and I, we'd set up, and it was for Liverpool City region. But we're not just, on our own. There's lots and lots of other people around the world, around the country, who could have a success in their city. And we use this platform. It might be nice to have a success in the city, Scotland. It might be, wherever anybody, and it would follow the same format and stuff like that. We can also apply for funding, because I'd love to have success in the city for little people, because lots of children and young people get a little bit of a bad rep, but there's so many young people and kids doing amazing things, and we tend to not hear about that. We always tend to hear about negative press, don't we? We never hear about the positive, or very rare that we hear about the positives of what our young people are doing. And I think it would be some great work experience for somebody. So if we had young people who maybe wanted to get into media or marketing, or how to run a business, anything like that, they can come and get involved and do some social media for us, do some editing if they're into that. And then, we're going to do some events, aren't we?
Yeah.
Success in the City events, and spread the good word, which we did, that amazing one in the Blackie. We'd love to do another one. We'd like to do a birthday celebration and shout out to all the amazing people who've done things. And any money that was raised from any of that would be used then to we pay for the platform and pay for the Spotify stuff that we do.
Because I'd like to say that you funded this. Certainly when we first started up, and we used to do it on Access Northwest, and lovely Jason sent me a message the other day.
Oh, he sent a message, yeah. We'd like to get him on.
Yeah, Jason would be brilliant, because it's Jason who helped us all the way, wasn't it? Who inspired us when we were on the radio. Yeah. And we didn't close the radio station down. I'd just like to say that the radio station did happen to close down. And we said, oh, well, we're going to leave it now. And then everyone said, oh my God, no, you've got to carry on. And then, of course, we did move it to Tuesday because of my battle at practice. But it
was better because Uncle Ron could do the dishes and then listening, because it was 7:30.
Oh, so yeah, he was happy with it, etc. Mm-hmm. But I just think there's great things to come now, and I think we can do some really good stuff and help people. And you were talking about, I was going on about a few specific charities as well as all the other great ones, like Big Help Project and An Hour for Others, and they're always doing stuff with kids, particularly An Hour for Others, and saying, look what they're doing, and maybe they're helping kids, and then the kids are giving back. And it's about educating them to go on and be ambassadors within the community and just do good stuff. And I think exposure to kindness, exposure to support helps you give back. You speak to anyone, most people in education or medicine or things, you say, why do you do what you do? And they've been helped along the way, either by a teacher or, when I took the kids on holiday, it's because I was taken on holiday by the school. A load of people in medicine said, oh, well, my mum died when I was young, or this happened and I wanted to help. And a lot of people are inspired to do what they do because of help they received when they were younger in a bad situation. So I think it's really, really good. And loads, we know from the young people in business, they, our Emmett's done brilliantly, hasn't he?
Done amazing.
They've all brought so much to the table, and it's important to really acknowledge that and give them a leg up. Just because maybe our cultures are different because of our ages, it doesn't mean a thing, I'm very keen to get onto the red faces we've had over the last year.
Okay, I think then. So I'd just like to say that if we're going to look for sponsorship, aren't we? We're going to look for sponsorship of the program. So if anybody wants to sponsor the program or make a donation, I think we're going to set some sort of page up. We were talking about maybe doing like a little lottery or something like that, where we could raise a little bit of money and then we could gift it out. So if we had, say, a young talented musician in the city who needed a new guitar or a drum or something like that and was going to be the next, the Beatles or whatever, we could, promote them and help them on their way. And if we could do things to support and help people who, and it's not about food or warmth, because there's amazing charities doing amazing things like that. It's about
it's people who maybe they slipped through the net.
Yeah.
Maybe what they want or what they need is a bit out there, and it doesn't fall under any criteria. Like, you know, maybe it's a little bit of money for a course or something that can give them a leg up in life. And, you know, I know we're already Pavlina when I went out for Kevin's birthday with Brian and Kev to the U with Ben, and she was telling me all about this thing they do. And then the guy, how mad was that, at the soup night, he was involved in that with them, and they give out £500 a month to causes. But there's sometimes no one asks for anything, and they said they had a few grand for surgery for someone overseas. So there's all different things, you know, we can do. But I'd like to keep it locally, obviously.
I was going to say what we're going to do is we're going to ask them to repay Success in the City with whatever we gift out.
Yes,
if we gift something else, they're going to repay Success in the City, so it becomes a win-win for everybody. You know, maybe one of our guests who's been on, they could go and support them or whatever. And we want to keep it tight to make sure that everybody wins, isn't it? And just do some really cool stuff, because I think the more, as Sandra said, you know, the more cool stuff that we do, the more other people, it's a bit like passing it on, isn't it, and paying it forward and things like that.
Oh, it's essential. It's absolutely essential. And if everyone does that, if you go back and help people who give you a leg up, then it carries on and it grows. And one of the things, you know, I've lived elsewhere as well as Liverpool. I grew up here and I moved away, and I've lived down south and over the water and everything. And what I always feel here is there's a safety net. Community, hang on, that kid hasn't got a coat, someone got a coat for, you know, people butt in, some people don't like, but it's a good thing, because it's about having a sense of care across everybody, you know, and I think that's really important.
So we're going to look at businesses, aren't we? If businesses want to sponsor us, they can sponsor a month, and then we will share all of their logos and what their business does on the shows, and we'll give them a little bit of promo, and we'll do it on our social media and stuff like that. If they want it, some people might just want to donate and don't want all the bells and whistles, but you know, we feel like we need to give them a little bit of a shout out and stuff like that. And then if we do any events or anything like that, or if anybody wants to make a donation, it'll all be set up, it'll all be transparent, because it's a massive thing that
no, absolutely,
you know, in everything that we do.
Is for our businesses, for our income, that's how we earn our living. This is a different thing. Brilliant.
So there you go. So we're going to go back through the red faces of the year. I know Sandra, I think, has got 2 this week that I got it.
One.
Well, I don't know, because I got 2 texts off you saying wait till my red face, and then I got another one saying,
believe me. Well, my funniest red face of yours was when you were in camping, or the woodland, when you went for the walk, and the man came out, you walked, and his mom just came out naked of his just like la whatever.
Morning world, as a perfect. There wasn't a soul. It was when we went in the camper van.
That was fun.
And parked in the woods. There wasn't a soul around. Took the dog for a walk. Walked up to the top. There's this camper van in the night time. Comes back. Goes for a walk in the morning. It was about 5:30 in the morning. There wasn't a soul. It was eerily quiet. Walked right up as his door opens, and he stood there with nothing on. And he just turned around and went, "Morning, pet." I said, "Morning," and just carried on.
It's just a night.
It must have been fuming.
Gone ballistic. That's just a night. I've absolutely died. Have I had to date a good red face that you this year or not? I've got
good red faces, haven't we?
I've got a brilliant one.
I'm going to think of the red faces. I normally write all the red faces down, and it doesn't go through my book.
Well, a few weeks ago, we were on the show, and I can't remember how many weeks ago. It's not that many, 4 or 5. It's been quite cold, as we know. So I had a nice jumper on that my mum gave me that I was absolutely made up with. It's quite roomy, but it's only light but toasty and embroidered, and I really loved it. Anyway, I have a delicate cycle on the wash, which I put all the woolens in, and it's always fine, never a problem. And then this happened. So for people who are listening, I'm really sorry, but I'm
It'll
holding,
fit Cindy or Barbie.
I'm holding up a jumper that looks like it's for a 3-4-year-old child. It looks like it's felted. Oh, I'm absolutely gutted.
Put it back up to your head.
Like, I'm
You
absolutely.
look like you know those things that you get in the fairground where you put your head through.
Yeah, you could have this for the Build-A-Bear. Honest to God, I was absolutely devastated.
What
So
watch did you put it on?
Delicate's
Well,
woolen.
obviously you never.
Look, well, I did because look at that. I did because all the others were fine. It's just this one.
Well, what does it say on it?
Look at the sleeve.
The sleeves go to your elbow.
I can't get my arm in. So anyway,
Will it stretch if you wash it again?
don't be ridiculous. It's so tight. It cuts off your blood supply because it was really good quality, but I'm devastated.
Well, what does the label say?
Well, I didn't
Do
read.
not wash.
I'll tell you what the label says, Helen. XL. That's what it says.
XL for Barbie.
XL. It's
Joe Swinney's laughing her head off.
oh my God, it's just unbelievable. Oh yeah, it says don't put in the washing machine. Well, there you go. So I wash everything in the washer. I just put it on a gentle wash. But that was me. So anyway, I had to hide it. Obviously, I didn't show my mum because she'd be like, "Oh, you're 55, you still can't wash anything." Everything else, I was absolutely devastated because it was so toasty and warm. But I did.
Anything like that, I just take to my mum's and give it to her.
She can't do anything with this, Helen. It's like felt.
No, I mean, I wouldn't even attempt to wash it. I'd just take it there. It'll be washed, dried, ironed, pressed.
Oh, I'm absolutely devastated over it. But there we go. At least it wasn't.
There'll be a little teddy bear somewhere who's made up.
Fuming, absolutely fuming. So there we go.
When did you do that?
A week ago.
Oh, maybe that's what the red face that you sent me.
That was the red face.
But you sent me another one then saying, "Oh my God, I've got a red face."
Oh really? Well,
you must have had two.
My
mum hand washing cold water.
I know I should have. I wish I had have. I'm really sorry. But there we go. So I've had to hide it from my mum. She doesn't do Facebook, so that's fortunate. But there we go. Unbelievable.
So if you see Sandra's mum, don't tell her about the job.
Don't tell her about that. Did you have a red face, Helen?
No, I've been quite good this week. I think.
No way. Really?
I've been quite good for a while. I've been quite good for a couple of weeks. Because you had a couple of
I had some calls.
When you didn't have any, didn't you?
No, I did, yeah. I had times when I didn't have any, but I've had a few corkers since then, haven't I? A few accidents. I decided to cut my finger open with the knife, slicing the turkey yesterday. My mum's got a today on Christmas Day, so that got plastered. That's smart, but yeah. So there we go. But normally we have I normally cut myself and injure myself, and I did do a few. And Betty said, "Oh, why haven't you had your nails done? Because normally I do for Christmas." But I thought there's no point. I'm doing all the dinner. It's a disaster. My fingers are like chopped to bits. But there we go. So I got some.
We just had another little technical issue, so I went off then, and everything spun round. But you were carried on talking so well.
What was your favourite Christmas present, Helen?
My favourite Christmas present. Oh, that's really tricky. I
got a fountain pen off your dad, which I just think is amazing.
A handmade fountain pen. No one else in the world has got one.
No one else in the world. And I've been looking for one for ages online and stuff. And I was like, Or if they were a reasonable price, I didn't like the colour or what. I'm dead picky or the nib, etc. It's absolutely perfect. It's just like the best gift ever. So I'm keeping it in the box constantly.
Oh, yeah.
Don't lose it. So I'm over the moon with that. That was a lovely present. And I got some lovely earrings as well. I got some really nice gifts. Ronan got me a brilliant book as well, which I'm looking forward to reading. So that was all brilliant. But I was just absolutely over the moon with my fountain pen. It was just the best thing ever because it was so personal as well. Very fortunate. Yeah.
Yeah. I got And when he started making them, I went in and he said, "Oh, I've made this wooden one." He said, "And it's out of wood from our garden." I said, "Oh, I'll have that." I said, "That'll fit me my Filofax perfectly." So he said, "Oh, okay." So I've had that for a good couple of months, really.
Yeah.
And then on my birthday, he held out 5 boxes and he said, "Yeah, you can choose one of these." And I picked one for which is a ballpoint, but it's one of the acrylic ones, which is lovely. And then he said, "Yeah, you can have a look at the other ones and see if you'd like the other ones better." But I didn't. I like the one that I'd already chosen, so that was lovely. So I got that. I got a gorgeous Dr. Martens.
That bag's gorgeous.
Yeah, well, that was for my birthday off Phil. And then Phil bought me a dry robe. So, I do like adventure-y things like swimming and running and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You have these, it's born from a survival blanket, but it's turned into a coat. So I got one of those on Christmas morning, which was ace, and then loads of other things. I got a pair of boots off me mum. I got stuff off our purse, off our studio. Yeah, I've got loads. I got loads and loads of stuff, really, really cool things. So yeah, I was dead lucky.
I felt very fortunate indeed. Really lucky.
Yeah, you just get loads of dead cool things, don't you? It's just you think, "Oh, I don't want anything, I don't need anything," and then when somebody gives you something, you think, "Oh, that's nice. Oh, I like that." Well, that's yeah.
I was
slightly delighted.
Presents. I was wrapped them up, and I get said because I love giving presents, and I was glad that you got present, and I'm like, "Oh yay!" When you get, and that's dead nice as well.
I think my favourite Christmas moment was Stuart. So my big brother Stuart, and my nephew 16, and he'd had his presents and things in the morning, and then Stuart had booked for them to go skiing to Italy.
Was he told? Does he know now?
But I hadn't told him.
Yeah.
So
Neil Sylvester's, but I got an orange off Joe.
Well done, Joe. I hope it was a chocolate orange, Neil. That's one of your 5 a day as well.
Orange, yeah.
So Thomas had asked me for overpants, waterproof pants.
Oh yeah.
Because he's doing his Duke of Edinburgh and he goes walking and stuff like that. So I'd bought him them. And then when Stuart said he was going skiing, I got him a pair of salopettes as well. And I dropped both of them up and I dropped a few bits up and put them in his bag. So he opened them and he went, they're salopettes. And I said, yes, but they're a little bit thicker for walking, aren't they? And he goes, yeah, but they're ski pants. And I said, oh, sorry. I said, I wasn't sure which ones. I said, it's all right. I said, I'll take them back. It's okay. I said, just try them on and see if they fit you. So he put them on. And I said, will you be all right walking in them? And you could see his face thinking, I'm not, he's a bit like me, he wouldn't dream of wearing the wrong stuff to you know what I mean? He's
so well-mannered, isn't he?
So he then opened the other pants and he goes, yeah, that's them. I said, oh, it's all right. I said, I'll take the other ones back. And then my uncle Never bought him a coat. So he opened that and it was a ski coat and he goes, oh, a ski coat. And I said, well, it's just a warm, walking coat, isn't it? You know what I mean? I said, that's cool. And then I bought him the helmet, the ski helmet.
Oh, yeah.
We opened that and he went, a ski helmet. And I said, no. I said, Dad said you were going to go rock climbing when you were doing your Duke of Edinburgh, so you'd need that for rock climbing, wouldn't you? So he's actually putting them all on, and he's got them all on. And then Stuart said to him something to do. He said, well, what have you got on? And he goes, well, I've got loads of skiing stuff on. So he said, well, what do you think you've got that for? And he said, I don't really know. He said, I might go skiing or something like that. And then Stuart said, yeah, he said, I'm taking you skiing tomorrow. So they're in Italy now, yeah?
Where have they gone to in Italy?
I'd never heard of it. Stuart's been there before. It's like Solpson or something like that.
Oh, has he flown to Turin?
No, I don't know where he's flown to. Anyway, they had to fly from Newcastle. So they went to Newcastle last night. And then they flew early hours this morning, so we just had a message on the day. So, but what a cool prezi that is!
He must have been made up, Thomas.
Yeah.
That's lovely. They just gone together, the two of them.
Yeah, and then they're meeting Stuart's friend there with his nephew, so that's cool. So just
lovely. What a nice thing to do. I went skiing once the first week in January. It was the best time. I just loved it.
I love skiing. So Stuart goes skiing every year with the lads, but they've gone with the boys. So that's so it's a dead cool thing, isn't it? So I think that was my favourite Christmas moment.
Oh, that's good. Aaron has been sick all over Christmas. He was booked
No.
and he's sick again now. I've vomiting bug now. So
because he was poorly before Christmas,
he
wasn't he?
he's just been really I think he's quite run down, but he's got 10 days off. He's going to he's going away, isn't he? So hopefully from Liverpool on.
When's he flying?
When's he flying? Friday, I think. Yeah, Friday. I'm taking him in the morning to the airport. So he's going to stay with his girlfriend for 10 days in Reggio Emilia. So that's
lovely.
There we go.
Lovely. So let's hope he gets well before he does. So Neil Joe says, you should be so lucky naughty boys get coal.
Because he got an orange. Was it a Teddy's chocolate orange though, Joe, to be fair?
Hopefully.
A tangerine. Oh no, big hugs to your lovely boy. Ah,
yeah. Don't go near him, put a red cross on the door.
No. I know. He's had some dinner tonight.
Has he?
He's managed them. God love him. So
I'd have a big red cross and I wouldn't be going anywhere near them.
No, I know. Play. It's hard. You're trying to have sympathy, but thinking, don't give it to me, don't give it to me, don't give it to me.
I know.
I've got time to be sick.
Oh, no.
Have you got any plans for New Year, Hel?
We're going to go to the walks. We're going to go to Rachel and Charlie's.
Lovely.
So we're going there, and we're having a board game night this year.
Oh, cool. All right.
So they always play games on Christmas night, and then we decided that we were going to do board games on New Year's Eve. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
And have a good couple of drinks. And apparently there's a game that she plays, but she said it's better the more you'd have to drink. So.
Oh, right. Okay.
We'll do one of them. So there you go. Yeah.
I'm going out with Brian and Kev, which I did last year for you with Ben. And then they've got a new puppy as well. I know. So I think I might.
Yeah, cute, isn't he?
Yeah, so that's cool. I'm really looking. It's nice to be with friends and that is.
Yeah, definitely. Brilliant. Yeah. So I was going to shout out to the grown-ups like we always do.
Oh, I'm far away.
We sort of shouted out to them because the grown-ups we were shouting out to was to Michelle O'Dwyer and Sheila Byrne for putting on Christmas events for everybody else and everybody who supported them and helped them. It's those sort of two names because we know their names, but it's the back staff, isn't it? And all the volunteers and things who've made it happen.
The Wirral Care Leavers, Paul Askew normally does something over there as well. You know, there's loads going on everywhere. Really cool people.
Yeah.
So
have we got a positive challenge for this year, Sam?
I've got like a closing quote. Really, I've quite a few.
But I've got a closing quote.
Okay, go on. You do yours first, then.
Yeah, because we've still got 3 minutes. So I wanted a positive challenge.
A positive challenge. Okay. I would say, and this is quite subjective, and I don't know, some people mightn't like this, but I tell you what I'm going to do as my positive challenge is with Ronan's girlfriend coming to stay and everything, I got into eating sort of meat again every sort of dinner time. And it makes me feel dead sluggish and everything. And I thought I'm definitely going back to being vegan from January. Well, as soon as really, because although I will eat a fish, as you know, because I just don't a flexitarian as I call myself, but I'm definitely not going to stop on the meat again. But if someone eats loads of meat, I would just say try and cut down. And not only because of the health reasons, but also the impacts on the environment, the economy and everything. It's just so much better to try and swerve meat if you can.
They do veganuary. Don't think veganuary is a thing now, isn't it? You know,
that's how I started it. You got me onto that, and then that was it. But I feel better when I only have vegan.
Yeah.
Go on.
My positive challenge is I'm gonna physically handwrite letters to people who've made an impact or touched me in a particular way. If something's happened and I've really felt it and it's made me feel in a different way, I'm going to physically write a letter to say thank you.
I'm going to do that. I copy everything
because I think my Uncle Ron sends handwritten letters over. And it's just lovely to receive something. And I think if somebody's taken the time to sit down, and email's a lovely thing as well, but I think if somebody's taken the time to sit and write, and it just means so much more. And I just think it's a lovely thing to do. So
and it's a good shout, actually.
I'm gonna if somebody's done something or I read about something and something's like really touched me, I'm gonna sit down and write a letter and send it. Joe Swinney, letters are beautiful. We all forget the impact of the written word, and I think that's really, really true now with, you know, social media and emails. And emails are brilliant and it's fast and, you know, and stuff like that. And you San, you've got to use your fountain pen.
100%. That's a good shout. And Jo says, I'm all the time to her friends. Yeah, definitely.
Which is lovely. Yeah. So it is a lovely thing to do. And I think we've lost the art of and maybe if a few people start to write letters, it might just start a little
I think that's easier to do than going full on vegan for people, so that's probably a good shout. Yeah.
I think it is. Go on, San, what's your mantra?
Okay, I've got loads, but this is, I think, for the time of year as well, and moving forward into the new year, I've put, life has no remote, get up and change it yourself. And
that's amazing.
If you need to change, if you're not happy with something, hard as it is, just change it yourself. And if that means the other mantra, put one foot in front of the other, one day at a time, and one day you'll realize you've climbed a mountain. So you might be able to change your life suddenly, but you can make changes to enhance how you feel and how you exist, etc.
100%. And you're going to do both of those mantras and both of those actions.
Yeah.
And you're going to use kind hands and don't punch Mary.
Kind hands, which means don't punch Mary. Absolutely.
Yeah. And that was the mantra I was going to close with. Oh, my mum says, well in, Sandra.
Well in, Sandra. Kind hands, don't punch Mary. Yeah.
Kind hands, don't punch Mary. Well, thank you massively for 2022, Sam.
Thank you, mate. And
I'm really, really looking forward to 2023. I think 2023 is going to be amazing. Uncle Ron says Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Uncle Ron, and thank you so much for the brilliant this or that this evening. They were great choices, actually. They were really good, weren't they?
Yeah, you might have a new little job going on there.
Yeah, and we'll see you next week with our first guest of the year.
Yeah.
Bullock.
Jen McGowan's on, isn't she, next
sorry,
week?
Jen McGowan, then John Bullock.
Jen McGowan, and then John Bullock, yeah. Jen McGowan, really looking forward to that because she's got a really good story. So massive thank you to you. Massive thank you to everybody for listening. Thank you to all our guests.
Our lovely supporters, we are.
And we'll see everybody in 2023.
Brilliant. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.